Okay, so here is the first page of the free response, the front and back portion of that. So for number 1, this is compound and, right? So we're going to ignore here and start solving. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do in all 3 places. We'll undo multiplication with division. Okay, so when we go to graph this, 1 is smaller, so it's on the left. We'll have a filled in circle at 3, an open circle at 1. This is a 3 being less than or equal to x, which is less than 1, is not a true statement. So this ends up being a no solution. Number 2. We're going to plug each of these values in. Right? So if you're using a calculator, we said we could type this in one time and then kind of just keep changing it. So we get -7, and then we can change that -2 into a +1, then into a 3, a 5, and a 9. Okay, graphing, this is slope-intercept form for the first one, so we're going to start at 5, and then from there we'll go up 3 over 4. Keep in mind, if I'm going too quickly for you, you can press pause, okay, or rewind or whatever you need some more time to do. Number 4 is in standard form, so we could cover up and find the intercept. So that says our x-intercept is 4, our y-intercept is 4, so we'll do a x-intercept at +4, a y-intercept at +4. There's our line. 5 is an inequality, so I'm going to start at -1. I'm going to go down 2, right 1, because my slope's negative, so make sure your line's going downhill. This should be a dashed line, and it should be shaded above. Number 6, you could plug into either option. You can either choose to use point slope form, or you can use slope-intercept form, but remember, either way, your final answer needs to be in slope-intercept form. So we in class talked about using slope-intercept form, so we said that this was our x and this was our y. So we said y, which is 5, equals m, which is 3, times x, which is 1, plus b. So 3 times 1 is 3, and then we just solved this. So that told us that b was 2. So we could say y equals mx plus b. Number 7, we're going to have to find the slope first. So we'll do 12 minus 6 over 5 minus 4. So this tells us that our slope is 1. Then we can pick either of these points. I'm going to pick the one that's smaller, and then I'm going to do exactly what I did up above. So we'll say y equals mx, oops, m is 6, I didn't simplify that very well, plus b. So 6 equals 24 plus b. So it gives us a -18 is b. So then we'll say y equals 6x minus 18. Number 8, we're going to solve by graphing. So I'm going to graph both of these equations onto 1. So I'm going to use 2 different colors here. So I'm going to start at -1 and then go up 2 over 1, making sure I'm giving myself enough points to tell a clear intersection. Okay, so there's one line. And I'm going to do my other. So I'm going to start at -1. Oh, there's my intersection right there. So up 1 over 1, right? There's my second line. But I'm going to intersect at 0, -1. Number 9. So if I start at 3, then I'm going to go up 1 over 3. Okay, then I'm going to do my other line. So I'm going to start at 1, up 1 over 1. There's my intersection point. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the intersection 3, 4. just go ahead and put the rest of the free response on here. Number 10, if we solve this by elimination, we can just add straight down because our y's are already opposite signs. So we'll get 2x equals 4. And then we'll plug that back into one of them. So we'll say 2 minus y equals 1. Y equals 1. So we can either write 2 comma 1, or we can write x equals 2 and y equals 1. Either one of those options would be fine. We're actually set up fine here too with our x's. So we'll say 2y equals 12. We'll plug this back in for y. So we'll say negative x plus 6 equals 1. Negative x equals negative 5. X equals 5. So we'll get x equals 5 and y equals 6. Again, you could also write that as 5 comma 6. Number 12 is substitution. So we'll find one that says x or y equals, underline what it equals, and then whatever letter we circled is what's getting replaced in the other equation. So we have 2 minus x equals x minus 4. This is something we can solve. So we'll say x equals 3. Then we'll plug that 3 back in over here. So we'll say y equals 2 minus 3. So y equals negative 1. Okay, then finally on our last one, right, we have to shade, because it's an inequality. So the first one, we'll start at 4, up 1 over 1. That's a solid line. It's shaded above. For our second one, we'll start at 1 and we'll go up 1 over 1. Okay, solid line, and that one's shaded below. Remember, we're looking to see where they overlap. So this one doesn't overlap anywhere, so this one would be a no solution. If we did find an overlapping area, we would want to shade that in darker, so be prepared to see that as well on your final exam.